If anybody got any prayer requests, put it in the comment section and I'll pray over it. This message is titled, We Should Pray for Our Leaders. Come January 3rd, there'll be a new Congress sworn in. Some of them will still be the same ones, but there will be some that will be newly elected. January 20th, we'll have a new president and his staff will be in there. But what I see happening a lot, we're probably all guilty of it really, is praying for just the leaders that we want in there. But we should pray for all of them. Yes, there's some of them that we're not going to like. But we should pray for all of them. The Democrats, the Republicans, and for that matter, the third party. For one, because God can change them. I believe the reason he changed Paul was because there was people praying for him. And two, sometimes God will use somebody. It won't be a righteous leader, by the way. But he will use them because of the position they're in. One example, the Pharaoh. He was not righteous. But God gave him a dream and gave Joseph the interpretation of it. And that saved the people from the famine that happened later on. Cyrus, the king of Persia, he was not righteous. He was a pagan. But God used him to give authorization to rebuild the temple. And then there's Caiaphas, who became the high priest. He was not righteous. This is the same Caiaphas who had allowed the money changers to enter into the temple. The same money changers that Jesus overturned their tables. Caiaphas was not righteous. But look what happens. In John chapter 11, starting at verse 45. Then it was after Jesus had rose Lazarus from the dead when this happened. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Jesus did believed on him. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Jesus had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council, and said, What do we? For this man does many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him. And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and the nation. And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, Ye know nothing at all, for consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. And thus spoke he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus should die for that nation, and not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad. Caiaphas probably didn't even know what he was doing when he said this. He probably didn't know what he was saying. But he was making it clear to the people, basically, that Jesus had to be the sacrifice, which had to be to fulfill the scriptures. Again, he was not a righteous man, but God used him for this. So we should pray for our leaders, even the ones we don't agree with, because God can still use them. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a Jesus-filled week. If it be the good Lord's will, I'll be back on here Monday evening.